Hello everyone, Voodoo here. So I just recorded this video and I was editing it and I realized that I have my music playing in the background still, so you can hear my music over the entire video. Here we are again with this video where we're talking about the new stuff for Havoc and Devourer. This is mostly a Havoc focused video. I'll try and keep it as close to the original as I can, but it's later and I need to go to bed. So we're gonna try and do this quicker, I guess, and we'll talk about Devourer as well. So like, comment, subscribe. Friday, so today, the day we're watching this, if it comes out, whatever, I'll be doing a charity stream at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be in costume. You're probably not prepared for it. Little hint there. So swing by. We're raising money for Gamers Outreach through my raid team and Oasis, WoW, and Dungeon Dojo, and lots of big groups. But anyways, I think I'm gonna move on here, and hopefully my music's not playing this time. I think we're good. Let's figure it out. Well, guys, here we are. It's not a Voodoo video if I don't have to do this video like 8 times, I guess, but whatever. Here we are. So there's new stuff for Havoc and new stuff for Devourer. Devourer stuff isn't very good, so we'll talk about it very briefly. But Havoc stuff is in 3 categories. So AR has new talents. We have our Apex talents, and then some talents have been moved around on the tree itself, and then like one slight change to beam. So let's just get into it. So we'll talk about the move talents first. So big one you'll notice is Hunt is no longer on a choice node. It's now actually a pretty central part of the tree where Furious Gaze used to be. I think this works a lot better just for like tree composition. Most specs have a node here that's an active that like the spec is built around. And they've decided that is Hunt because it's here, and all the Apex is kind of built around as well, which we'll touch on after. So Hunt's been moved here. Furious Gaze has been moved up to where the Hunt was. Dark Transformation has been moved down to where the Hunt used to be. So the thing with this is that it's now a choice node against Inner Demon. Inner Demon, good. Dark Transformation, unchanged. Pretty bad for a capstone for a third gate level talent, which Havoc right now has a lot of competition in because the Apex talent seems pretty good. So this is a pretty mediocre one. It does get better with the Apex, which again we'll touch on, but kind of weird that it's here in general. It also means that Inner Demon is a lot worse because you don't get the reset on I-Beam, which means that there are some cases where you might not get another I-Beam in your meta. It's probably likely you'll get another one, but some cases you are just going to lose in their demon, which is obviously it feels bad. Also, these have the same talent icon, which only works if it's like a shadow crash target or reticle thing, or earthquake target or reticle thing. So one of these needs a new icon, pretty much. Just change it to anything basically. The other change you might notice is that I-Beam is now a 30-second cooldown. Top right corner there. You're probably like, oh, sick. Does that mean that that Cycle of Hatred is now just 10 seconds off? It's 20 seconds of baseline, or it only takes 2 stacks to reach 20 seconds, or does it go down to 10 seconds even? Like, there's so many possibilities. Well, no, the talent still is the same as before. It sucks. It actually scales up slower now. So every single I-Beam stack is 2.5 seconds up to 10. So it's going to take you much longer to get to 20. Well, not much longer, but it's going to take you the same amount of time. I guess it'd be quicker because you're basically skipping the whole 35-second, 30-second stuff and going straight to 25 seconds. So it's better in that sense. But it is weird in the fact that you're going to have like a 27.5 cooldown button and a 22.5 cooldown button, which is interesting, I guess. Just make Cycle of Hatred 20 seconds baseline, please. I don't know what we're doing here. So that's the new stuff. I don't know. I mean, like, Chaos Transformation is just such an ass node in general, but I do like the Hunt being a more central focus. Everyone knows it's 1 minute. That is because of our Apex talents. So these are all called Eternal Hunt, not Haunt, sorry. And they're kind of themed around the Hunt. 2 of them are. So the Hunt empowers your next I-Beam, increasing damage by 100% and affecting enemies in a wider area. What this means, I believe, is that the sideways verticality, well, the width of I-Beam is just bigger. So it's a thick with like 2 C's I-Beam now instead of just like a long one. So that's pretty good. I mean, 100% damage on I-Beam is nice. It's honestly a little weak because like I-Beam does good damage. It kind of chunks, but the Hunt itself is a long cooldown, especially if you don't take second node, which this is 15%. So for each point, this is basically half of the effect. But with 2 points, you get 30% reduced cooldown, 30% more damage on both the initial hit and the dot, which is nice. And the dot also applies to 4 additional enemies you pass through, which doesn't matter in single target, but is real good in AoE. The Hunt dot does a lot of damage now, especially with 30% more. Okay, and then you're probably wondering, all right, what does the capstone do with the Hunt? How does it make the Hunt better? Well, it doesn't. Blade Dance damage increased by 20%, and whenever you fully channel I-Beam, your next Blade Dance refreshes its own cooldown, which actually is sick. So this is actually a really fun thing. Now, if Essence Break worked properly with Death Sweep, you get a lot of AoE damage from it. You get a lot of AoE damage from your Soul Scar stuff. Screaming Brutality giving glaives, Soul Scar doing glaive damage, yada yada. But you also just like do a lot of Blade Dance damage because of the Blade Dance damage increased by 20%. 20% is like a pretty sizable amount. And on a dungeon I was doing, like, it was by far my highest damage, which is kind of nice. So we'll show that off. So hunt 1 minute, then we get the beam. Now, when we hunt in, I can't really hit enough targets to make this, you know, I can't hit 9 targets, but it would work. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, sick. Beam probably doesn't that sick new ability, like animation. Also, there's a 10-second buff, should be longer, but it doesn't. Same animation, so there's that. But you use it, and then you get this little buff here, which makes Blade Dance reset its own cooldown. Boom, resets, boom, which is pretty nice. Now, the problem with the I-beam buff, again, from the hunt, is that it lasts 10 seconds, so you can easily lose it. Here's normal beam, same thing. But again, you know, we have the Death Sweep reset, which is pretty fun. It's actually really fun to push. You get a lot of glaive damage off of it, which is, again, nice. And I think it's a pretty good capstone, or apex, I guess. I think the middle one's really good. Using the hunt more is a fun thing. I think Eternal Hunt could need a little bit more on it. I think wider area, like who cares? Most time you're able to hit everybody with I-beam anyways. And the buff needs to last forever instead of just 10 seconds, because there are cases where you can lose it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with these. I think it's pretty good. It makes rotation change in a pretty fun way, in my opinion. I like using the hunt. I think it's a good moment. The hunt's going to deal a lot of damage now. It's going to empower your I-beam, so you want to use it. And then I-beam will give you Blade Dance, which does a lot of damage. So really great stuff there. And that's kind of why Character Transformation is better, because you get the I-beam reset, but then you also get 2 other Death Sweeps because of the, well, I guess 1 more Death Sweep, but Death Sweep also does more damage. So still a horrible talent node that I don't think should be a third gate here with a more onto it, but it's a better one. For Master Reaver, we also have our 3 new nodes. So Warblade's Hunger has been shifted over here. It's not new, but the other new ones are these 3 here. So the first one is Broken Spirit. The Hunt shatters a Soul Fragment, and then Chaos Strike has a 20% chance to also do that. And this is on top of Demonic Appetite, which, by the way, Demonic Appetite is no longer hasted to our knowledge. It's spell data stuff, so it's a little weird to get a full reading on it. But basically this talent, when it works, because it doesn't work in game right now, should make it to the point where you're doing roughly the similar feel of gameplay as current live. So we do lose sigils, but this talent should make up for the sigil loss, and you should expect Eldritch Reaver to play roughly the same. You should expect that because they actually also added our tier set as the other 2 nodes. So Keen Edge right here is our 2-piece, nerfed obviously. So Reaver's Glaive, 20% increase, physical only 10%. So look at the tier set right now is 50 and 25. So a nerf version, but you know, fine, it's there, just damage increase. And they also brought back our 4-piece. Now Reaver's Mark now stacks up to 4 times is a lie. It stacks up to 3 times. I don't know why it says 4. This tool type has historically been wrong. And then Fear the Eldrachi doubles to 12 if it's second, and then Reaver's Mark gives you 3 if it's second. So I'll demonstrate that, of course. So we'll throw out our glaive here. So if I Chaos Strike into Photo, I have more Photo Slashes, cool. If I hunt in again, and we'll just meta to get a reset, and then I slash into Annihilation, I have 3 stacks of Reaver's Mark there. Awesome, perfect, exactly what we think. So those are the Havoc changes. I think Havoc's tree still needs some work, but I think overall Havoc is honestly might be getting more complicated. I don't know. There's some weird stuff you can do with the double Death Sweep reset, which I kind of like. But I don't know. I think the Apex is sick. Honestly, I think it's really fun to play. I'm excited to play with it in like a real scenario. But you know, good stuff. I mean, like fix cycle, fix some other issues that are still left over the tree, but otherwise, like Apex talent. Very good, very good. All right, Devourer. All right, the big new thing for Devourer, Void Scarred. Nothing actually changed. They just changed the icon and changed the name. Still not implemented. Still says armor and health here. So whatever. The big thing I want to talk about is that they've actually doubled Fury Drain, which was kind of bad. So I'll show you this on 2 different things. So I don't know if anyone has watched my gameplay or my testing, or whatever. With long meta beforehand, you were possible to get all 100 stacks of this and get roughly 7 stars. 7 stars if you were playing really well and fully optimized like I was doing. I've heard others were getting like 4 or 5 or whatever with different talent builds, but you could pretty reliably get 7, at least for me and some other testers that I've been talking to. That is not true anymore. So we're gonna just cast here while I yap. So they've doubled the Fury Drain, and you'll see almost right away if you have any experience watching me play this spec, that the drain is going to be almost like I'm deep into meta as soon as possible, because how the drain works is that it's kind of logarithmic. So it's starting higher is bad because it's going to exponentially gain, which means that you start basically like as if you had already cast 4 stars. What that means now is that if I fully prep, I can maybe get 3 stars with this one, and that's like having a bunch of stars going on the ground going into it, which we're going to do obviously because that's like probably how you play it. We have a bunch of stars going into it. It's going to have like an Eradicate ready to go so that we can collect those stars. Like literally like fully optimal gameplay. We're actually going to just kind of build back up because I want to delay so I get max stars here, so I actually get like enough things. So we're going to Vray, enter meta, cast Collapsing Star right away. And they've also made it so that Collapsing Star doesn't pause Fury Drain, it just slows it as well, which I think is also new. But right there, I'm already at 20, and you can see my Fury bar is racing down. And sorry, so I'm actually only going to be able to get, I think, 1 more star here. I actually don't even know if I can get 3 in this scenario. I've had some pretty bad luck here. But you can see I'm only at 40 stacks of emptiness, where beforehand it's very easy to reach 100. Like I'm only getting 13% haste, and my Fury bar is absolutely empty. Now I am, of course, not that high level, but there I got 2 stars. You can get 3, but I got 2 in that scenario. Now here's my stats. I only have 16% haste, but haste won't make a big dent in that, right? Like that's not a crazy difference. Like I got 2 stars, or was that 3? Am I stupid? I don't know. I didn't get many stars. That's the big thing there. And if I go to Soul Glutton, which means, you know, you get into meta more often, but your meta lasts longer, you don't have meta time. You can maybe get the star you get for free and then 1 more star if you are lucky and if you prep for it. You cannot get more than that, and you often can't even get the 2nd star, which is crazy. So I get what they were going for. And again, this might be a bug. This might be a bug. Like there's nothing confirming that this happened. But like I think they went too far, because like meta before you could get like 90-second void metas, which probably is too long. And hopefully the idea here is that they reel it back, and then they're like, oh shit, this is too much, and then they walk it back, and you know they find a happy medium. But it does kind of kill the spec a little. We're just gonna waste some souls here so I can get 35 going into it and show you. So we'll Rad, we'll Void Ray, enter meta, cast Collapsing Star. You get the gist. So we're gonna try and get 1 more here, but I'm already losing Fury so fast. Like this is my bar almost fully draining. If I am lucky here, oh, I should have come on. Okay, we got 1 more, barely by the skin of my teeth. Like, it just doesn't last long enough. It takes a lot of the skill expression out of the spec, because like you are fighting against your life to even get 1 more star. Star is a really fun ability to press. It does a ton of damage. Like we got to find a happy medium here. This is too far in the direction. So hopefully that gets fixed. There's nothing else new for Devourer this week. There is a tier set that was data mined, but it isn't actually in game, and it's so bad I hope it doesn't happen. Basically what it is, it's 10% void ray damage for the 2-piece, which is nothing, and then 10% collapsing star damage, and collapsing star generates 10 fury for the 4-piece, which is also literally nothing. Like you don't get any collapsing stars, and it generating 10 fury is such a nothing burger, it doesn't matter. So hopefully that's not our tier set, because that sounds horrible, but we'll see. So that's Devourer news this week. Nothing good, kind of grim, but hopefully it's a bug and it's fixed. They fixed a lot of the other bugs as well. Collapsing Star always crits now works, Eradicate now works, where it doesn't give you like a free charge, and now also works when you go into meta. They fixed like a bunch of bugs, so that's very good, but Soul Drain is not. All right, that's it for take 2 of this video. Hopefully my music wasn't playing this one, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll figure it out. But again, check it tonight on my Twitch, where I'm doing the charity stream. I will be in costume. It'll be fun. You get to donate money and make our guild group do some crazy shit. We have a lot of really funny affixes that work with like weak auras and stuff. I think people can also come and get carries through the official channels too. And it'll be a lot of fun. So just come hang out, chat. It's for a charity, good cause. I'll be in costume, fun stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later on Monday for a new video. And again, tonight, Friday night, for the stream. So Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these changes. And yeah, peace.